the nostalgia, the tradition, the magic, the memories, and the madness in 1,000 points of improvised dialogue. Theme Park Thursday with Dillos Diz on the Improviser's Guide Network.
Now is the time.
Forever?
Miss Tomorrow.
Old.
About a minute and a half.
Hashtag always
It was a small
MGM.
house
Step
on the
out
floor.
to your right.
Old.
The
Drink.
secret staircase.
We always do that.
You are approaching the unloading area.
Behold the majesty of the Sistine Seal.
For the kids.
A salute to all theme parks, but mostly Walt Disney World.
What a cute ending.
Aloha and welcome aboard.
He is an Emmy Award winner for HBO's Angels in America. He won the Academy Award for Dick Tracy, which is celebrating its 30th anniversary. We're so excited to have him here. John Caglione Jr., welcome to Theme Park Thursday with Dillos Diz.
Thank you very much. On Halloween's, we would, like when we were kids, my parents would not buy masks for us, like those Ben Cooper masks. They would spend hours making us up.
Wow.
And you got to transform, and it was like your parents are doing this makeup, and this is cool. So I guess all of it was happening.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
When I was in college, I worked at in Florida. I worked at Universal Studios, and I really loved at the time how much they loved the tradition of the Universal monsters, and I'm sure was a big part of your love for movies and monsters early on. Did you have was there certain designs that really stood out to you when you were younger? You liked one more than the rest? What really sticks in your memory?
It's a common theme with all of us makeup people is that, that do prosthetic makeup, effects makeup is, the Universal horror monster movies. The great makeup maestro, Jack Pierce, did, the original Frankenstein on Karloff and The Mummy. And so, I grew up watching all those movies and just going from that into the other horror films like The Exorcist and those films in the 70s, and started to move in that direction. But, all of us were inspired by the original Jack Pierce, even Jekyll and Hyde, those films, the old black and white, Creature of the Black Lagoon and all that stuff. It's all in there. Absolutely. I mean, how could you play blues music, today and not know about Albert King and, B.B. King, and then before that, Robert Johnson. So if this is what you want to do, if you want to be a guitar player, you have in a blues guitar or any rock, you have to know all that. So those are the roots.
When you were watching, these movies, because you just mentioned The Exorcist, so Dick Smith plays a very big part in your life here. Is before The Exorcist, since that was early 70s too, were there movies of his that you started connecting the dots that it was all the same makeup artist?
Yeah, I think the very first thing I saw about Dick Smith, because I was just starting to, learning about makeup effects, there was a photograph of Dick, a black and white photograph of him with a palette in his hand, very studious with the glasses, and he's making up this very old man. And it looked to me like a doctor working on an old guy. And I read the caption, and it was Dick Smith doing the makeup on Dustin Hoffman in Little Big Man.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, I was totally fooled. And I think that was before The Exorcist came out. And that's when he really just captured my imagination. But even going back a little before that, like in the Universal horror films, and doing makeup on myself, and nose putty and all that stuff in the bedroom, and there were these magazines. I pulled one out. This is the Famous Monsters of Filmland. You see that?
Wow.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
Yeah. so this was the YouTube, of today.
Yeah.
And so, like in this magazine, Famous Monsters is where I first started to read about Dick Smith. And this is like the late 60s and early 70s, but this magazine was like the only thing to go to
Yeah.
Yeah.
for like a very unusual kid like me growing up in Troy. So, I'd run to the store and I'd, get the latest issue of Famous Monsters, and I was like, wow. But, it was Little Big Man, and then, of course, The Godfather, The Exorcist, and that was the era of Dick Smith, who, is like the greatest makeup artist ever,
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be here talking to you if it wasn't for him, so, thank you.